Okay, the area out here on the right is what they call the Auckland Light Marine Industrial Area. As you see, it's just a big area here for ship repair. It's a big white ship in here called the Atlantic Trader. It's been sitting there for about 6 years now. This was bought by an Auckland entrepreneur. His whole idea was to take on the big boys in the shipping world, so he went overseas and bought this boat for $1 million and brought it back. When the marine surveyors come on board to survey it for carrying cargo, they just laughed and said, it's not fit to carry cargo, let alone to have people sitting on board. So it's been tied up and it's just sitting there now for 6 years. Titan Marine, who own the wharf here, want to get rid of it because they want to use the space. And he says to them, well, yeah, Marine Department took it off me, they can shift it. So unfortunately the value of the ship, the scrap value is zero because it's so rusty. So it'll sit there and it's tied up in red tape, and I suppose one day it'll sink, and the Auckland ratepayers will have to foot the bill to get it lifted and removed out of the way. Another area coming up here by the petroleum company. So as we go into the harbour here, we're immediately on our right is where all the fishing boats load and unload here. And of course, when there's lots of fishing boats in, they go and use the marina berths, which are further in around in the super yacht marina. Work boats, which the real workers are on them. And then you've got tied up alongside big super yachts, which are big toys, so it's quite a nice contrast. So if we look on our left-hand side there, you can see where the walking ramp comes down onto the wharf there. Breakfast Cup here, this is full of super yachts and all sorts of boats. There's all sorts of venues going on here. There were concerts all around the edges. Now this area is used for boat shows, any sort of festival, wine and food festivals, anything like that's held here. And of course, when we have big races, all the boats come into here. So it's a very, very nice place to be. Lots of nice restaurants up to our right hand side up there where you look past the big Kermadak sign. Some lovely little restaurants in there, and there's quite a lot of activity down here at night. It's quite a nice place to have a look at. So all the big super yachts are out at the moment. Easter weekend, I suppose all the owners want to go off for a long weekend, so they're all out. Got a big yacht coming up on the left hand side here called Zulu. This is a boat's only about 6 weeks old. It's built here in New Zealand, built down in a place called New Plymouth. That's built by Fitzroy Yachts, and it's built for a wealthy New Zealander. He's had it out this weekend and with his super yacht crew on board, and he's just finishing all his sea trials, and once that's finished he'll be taken off up to the islands where the nice warm sunshine is. He'll be cruising up there for the New Zealand winter. Sounds like a hard life to me. This other one here is big catamaran on our right hand side, Sun Canaries. This is an overseas yacht that's come in. I don't know too much about that, but I believe it's an American owner. actually going inside the museum, but sitting on the outside. And you can have a look at all the boats there, all the boats from the early turn of the century in New Zealand here. New Zealand had a lot of really good timber called the kauri tree, long, straight timber, which is fantastic for boat building. Not only did it get exported overseas for spars and masts, we also we had a lot of boat building here. Our harbours and coastlines are very shallow, and a lot of places use it for cargo operations, so they put, I think it was a 150-year lease out on it to the developers. The developers got hold of it, and they built all these apartments. Now the council had one stipulation and said, well, this wharf is the passenger ship terminal where all the passenger ships come in either side here. Whatever you build on there has to have a nautical theme. So they come up with this idea of these buildings, and as we look down the side, it's possible it does look like passenger ship, but with the portholes and that. And we come ahead a little bit further here, and you can look down between the two of them, so it gives you a good idea. Sometimes when there's a big passenger ship in here, they do blend in quite well. Of course, we've got the Hilton there, the 5-star hotel on the left-hand side. As we come across and you look down the centre, you'll see a huge big swimming pool in there. And this is the Hilton swimming pool up high. So if you like swimming in the nude and like being an exhibitionist, it's probably a good place to go up there and have a swim. So anyway, the Auckland Harbour Board, they were pretty crafty people, and part of the conditions they put down on the people building on there, that they would have to build an area, a big reception area, so when the passenger ships come in, that the people could then come off and be inside this complex. And as we go down the side there, you'll see the big area or the big complex set up. It's a bit like at the airport where you have the air bridges. Well, they have the same thing now on either side of these buildings. And the Ports of Auckland got away with a cheap deal, with a nice long lease on the land here, plus they didn't have to go and build any of these any facilities for the passenger ships. We get around about 40 passenger ships a year here. Hope you all enjoyed it. For those who didn't enjoy it, please don't tell anybody. But that's a little bit about what happens out here on the harbour. And